Hello once again for all of the attendees who have already joined the session. My name is Thomas. I will be in the very beginning of the session. And today, as you may know, as you already joined, we are going to see what's new within the new Business Central version, Business Central 25, or on the other way, 2024 Wave 2. Our main presenter right here will be Stefano Demiliani. He will introduce all the new stuff that you can find within the latest release of Business Central. But before that, of course, for all of you who haven't worked with us before or don't know Simplanova itself, just give me a few minutes and I will introduce also Simplanova, who we are, what we do, and how we can help you. And one more thing that I would like also to remind for all the attendees, if you will have any questions related to all the information that Stefano Demiliani will share with you, or if you'll have any questions related to Simplanova, within the end of session, we will have some time for questions and answers. And if something will happen and we won't have the answer, you can always contact sales@simplanova.com for all the questions, and well, we'll try to support as soon as possible. Also, just recently, I received the news that from our marketing manager, Eva, that this is like a record-breaking event for us. Usually we had around 200 registrants per each session for Stefano Demiliani's webinars, and right now I record breaking 350, and I already saw that there are more than 100 of participants already joined right here. So I'm really happy that more and more people are joining those type of webinars, and it's also a sign that we are doing a good job while sharing the information with you. So to begin with, let me share a little bit more about Simplanova, who we are and what we do. We started our operations back in 2013 with a mission to help partners to solve one of the challenges while doing the upgrades at that time from the classic versions to the RTC. And that's how we started building a team of developers who would find the best ways how to handle issues while doing the upgrades. And at the same time, we received a lot of insights from their side that there are quite a lot of manual work while doing these things, and we need to find some ways how to automate the process. So we started working on various tools that would allow to eliminate manual work and solve majority of the issues while saving the time for an upgrade project. And of course, time went by and new challenges came at that point from Microsoft side back in 2019 when Microsoft launched Business Central, and we need to switch from CL to AL. So once again, Simplanova, we started creating various tools that would allow us to handle better all the errors that we might face while doing the upgrade from the classic or RTC versions to Business Central. At the same time, we received more and more requests, not just for the upgrading services where we are working on fixed price and scope basis, but from time to time after the upgrades, we've had to do various places related to refactoring or re-implementing some of the functionalities. So we created a team of developers who can help you with all kind of development tasks which are not related to the upgrades, such as like new implementations, add-on development, building integrations between third-party systems combined with Business Central, etc., etc. Yes, and as we became also the ISV development center for Microsoft and a modernization central as well. Right now, we can help also partners with various incentives, especially from Microsoft side, just to make sure that partners could handle upgrades easier, maybe while covering some costs for upgrades by incentives from Microsoft and so on. And as directions, EMEA will be in 1 month in Austria. We'll be there, and we will have some really great news for all the partners, how to be more efficient and more effective while doing the upgrades for the partners while using various incentives for that. And some numbers from our side as well. So throughout all the years that we've been helping for the partners, we've managed to save more than 111,000 hours while doing the migration project. We've successfully delivered more than 500 upgrade projects throughout these years. We've been working through many partners. Right now, we have even more than that. It's 230 plus, and we've been working all over the world. More than 38 countries we're using and are using the services of ours. So that would be a quick introduction from my side. And right now, I would like to give a word for the main presenter of the day, which would be Stefano Demiliani. So a word for you, Stefano.
Thanks, Thomas. I will share my screen. And if you can please confirm that you can see the screen.
It's loading, and right now we can see.
Perfect. So thank you very much, and thank you everybody to be here to this webcast. The goal of this webcast, as I said on every edition of this webcast, is to give you a full overview of the news in the new Business Central release. In this case, the new Business Central version 25 release. Expect to have a lot of information, in-depth information, technical and non-technical informations. Some of the topics that I will present today are yet documented by Microsoft online. Other topics are not documented, and some of them will receive documentation in the next months. I will, as said before, I will answer the question at the end of the webcast in order to be able to first explain all the topics. In any case, if I'm not able to answer a question today, feel free to write me on one of my social channels, and I will be happy to answer the question. The program is quite the same. So I've divided all the news into 5 main different areas, and we will start by exploring each of these areas in details on what's new in this Business Central release. We start from the administration part, so from the bottom of the stacks. What's new in the service and administration part? The first main news that I think partners need to know is that Admin Center will be enriched in the starting from October and also in the upcoming months with some of new features for administrative environment. The first main news about the administration is that now Microsoft is changing the upgrade policy, and in Business Center version 25 now you have a 5-month update periods for major updates. This means that starting from the day when a new major release is available for an update to a tenant, you now have a more enlarged window in order to be prepared to the new release. In the past, this window was 60 days. So if in these days the update is publicly available, usually the update is available for new customers, and then after about a week, the update is available also for existing customer. And existing customer have 60 days in order to schedule and in order to start the upgrades and to be successful in the upgrade. Otherwise, after 60 days, the upgrade is not successfully executed by Microsoft. You enter in what is called the grace period, and where Microsoft tries a weekly update of your tenant. And then after this week grace period, you have that the upgrade is enforced. So your extension, if not compatible with the new release, are unpublished. Now things change. So after the release of the new version, you have now 5 months of time. During this period, you can decide if you want to postpone or not the upgrade. So you can postpone this upgrade for 5 months, and this gives you a more a larger period in order to test the new release or something like that. And this new and larger window also reflects also in the optional in minor updates. So when we have minor updates now in the admin center, we will have the option to change the way on where minor updates are deployed to your tenant, and you can also skip minor updates, things that actually you cannot do that. So in the new release, starting from October is where this feature related to minor updates will be launched. This feature is considered as a preview features until probably the first months of 2025. With this new feature, you can decide if you want to skip these updates. And in the admin center, you will also have the possibility to manage in a centralized way per tenant extensions. So no need to open each environment where you want to install a per tenant extension, but you can do that centrally directly from admin center. And admin center, according to that, also will reflect the compatibility of per tenant extension. So in the admin center, you will have the possibility to check for a particular tenant if there are in each environment apps that are not compatible with the next update. What happens in practice is that you will soon be able to see a new option in the admin center in the specific environment, where you can select the possibility to schedule an automatic minor update. And for each update, you can also select the target version of your tenant, so you can skip minor updates. And so you can, for example, jump from 25.0 to directly 25.2, skipping 25.1. So this is a new possibility that will be available in the next month directly in the admin center for everyone. Also related to the administration, in the tenant, now you have the possibility, your environment, now you have also the possibility to set up automatic job queue notification for failures. And this is a nice trick, because sometimes it's difficult to be notified when a job queue fails. So many relies on automatic scripting, maybe checking telemetry or something like that. Now you have a built-in way to receive notification if a job queue fails. This starts from an assisted setup. So from the assisted setup, you can set up the job queue notification. And when the assisted setup starts, you can decide who should be notified about a job queue that is failed. So only the user that initiates the tasks, or also the job queue administrators. And you can also specify a list of administrators that should receive the notification. The notification is mainly divided into two groups. The first is in-product notifications, and the second is a Power Automate based notifications. If you have in-product notification, you can specify if these notifications should be reached immediately for when a job queue fails, or after a particular delay. So after a threshold that you can specify between 3 and 5 minutes, for example. Notification, if you select the in-product notification, is sent to the user, administrator, or user that launches the task. And the notification is available in the My Notification box of the user. So inside its role center, you will see in My Notification a new box called Job Queue Failure Notification, where you can check. And you can also disable this notification per user. So if the user doesn't want to receive notifications, he can go into My Notification and turn off the flag into Job Queue Failure Notification button. So he will never receive this type of notification. Also, the role center for administrators is enriched with a new set of queues that shows if a task is failed, if a task is running, if a task is in queued, and something like that. And directly from this role center, you can monitor your job queue task efficiently. If instead you select notification not in product, but based on Power Automate, this type of notification relies on the external business events. So relies on business events that are triggered from Business Central to Power Automate. And when you set up that, you can enable business events. And then when the setup is finished, you can create an automated flow template. Starting from a template, you can create a flow that is automatically triggered when a job queue is failed. And if you click this hyperlink, it goes directly in Power Automate. And from here, you have a predefined template of workflows just ready to use, where you can simply fill the emails or something like that, or change the email details, and that's ready to go. If your notification start, if the notification task is failed, automatically we will receive the notification directly in your inbox as default, or you can simply change it and, for example, send a notification to Teams or any type of fantasy you have. Another part that I've classified into the administration part is related to the cloud migration. Cloud migration, I think you know that is the tool that you need to use in order to migrate a customer to the cloud. Cloud migrations at the moment is not until Business Central 24. It doesn't support to migrate record links and notes that you have added to documents or cards or something like that. Now the cloud migration setup, the tool now supports migrating also links and notes, and in this case, this will be automatically migrated when you start the cloud migration, and this feature will be available in the next 25.1 release. Another important thing to remember is that in Business Central, until Business Central 24, when you want to install an extension coming from a marketplace, you go into the extension management place, and here you have the extension marketplace button that when clicked, you can see all the list of AppSource extension, and then you can select one and install that extension into the environment easily. Now things change. In Business Central 25, now you have a new tab called AppSource Gallery, and here is where you need to install AppSource apps. So here is the place where you can install AppSource apps, and someone can say, "Oh, it just changed the name of the box." It's not simply a name change at the moment, but at the moment there's a limitation. So users that have a granular delegated admin with the customer cannot install at the moment AppSource apps in the customer tenant, things that you can do instead until Business Central 24. So this can have an impact because in many, I talked recently with many partners, and many partners have consultants that are delegated admin to a customer, and this consultant install auto apps from AppSource to the customer tenant. At the moment, this is a feature that is not is blocked. Microsoft is rethinking on that, but at the moment that is. So just remember that if you want to install an app as a delegated admin in the customer tenant, an AppSource app as a delegated admin in the customer tenant now, you will have an error. So the trick that you can use if you want to start tomorrow is using the trick based on the URL. So you can simply run this URL by passing the app ID that you want to install, and this is automatically triggers the app source apps where you can install the app also as a delegated admin. Otherwise, from the Business Central page, this will be blocked. From administration part, I think that the main topic are these. Now we will move into the application part. And the application part, we have quite a lot to say. Some are small things, some are most important things. In the application part, the first thing that I want to mention is something related to the customization available in the web client. So previously, starting from Business Central version 19, personalization in the web client can be enabled also today. This is actually also as today. Can be enabled per profile. So for each profile, you have a disable personalization button. If it's on, a customer cannot do personalization in the client. Otherwise, it can personalize the client. This impacts the way a customer can personalize its role center or its client in general, its any page, any action, something like that. This also impacted the resizing of a list, for example. So if you have disabled personalization for a particular profile of users, and this user tries to resize, for example, a column in the page, an error occurs. First of all, you don't have the drag action, but an error occurs. So saying that you cannot apply personalization. Business Central 25 changed that finally. This was reported to Microsoft a lot of time ago, and finally this is changed. So in Business Central 25, resizing columns on every part of the client is disconnected from the disabled personalization setting. This means that also if I'm a user that has personalization disabled, I can resize columns. I cannot do personalizations because these are disabled for me, but I can resize the columns, and this helps on improving the user experience. Another part also always related to the client is that now the file upload action that you have previously seen in Business Center from a set of release, and now also supports dragging multiple files. So you can drag multiple files into the upload, and multiple files will be uploaded. So it's much more quick to work. Another important improvement into the client is the introduction of the model search. The model search is a new search capability available on list pages, lookup pages, and widely across the company, the searching company data, that permits you to do not a simple search in the list, but a full text search. And a full text search relies on a feature in Azure SQL called full text capability of Azure SQL. And this works by using a full text index, and this permits you to have research in data much more faster than the legacy search. So what happens to just to quickly show it in action? If I have my list here and my item list, and I search for a term like beans roasted, I can probably directly show it in the live. So I have my Business Central 25 here, and if I go into the search box of my item list, and I enable the model search, so the faster search, and I search, for example, for beans roasted, that is a bean, you can see that directly Business Central is extracting me the data information. Also if beans roasted is not an exact matching word, that you can see in the record. If I instead use the legacy source or the old source, the only available source until Business Central 24, and I search for beans roasted, nothing is found. Simply because beans roasted is the old search work by searching the exact text inside the fields, the available fields. The new modern search instead works by performing a search string inside the text. It works more like a searching engine. And I want to switch on the slide. Sorry. This feature is at the moment active for every user, and it will. At the moment, the plans are to become the default behavior for search instantly for Business Central 27. So the recommendation here is if you use search in list, if your users are widely use this feature, enable this feature, so-called optimizer search in list, because it permits you to have a much more performance search in the list, not locking, something like that. Otherwise, the legacy search is always available, and you can release it. The only note that I want to mention, I will return that also in the developer part on this topic, but for the moment, the only part that I want to mention is that just remember that columns that are not enabled for full text search are now excluded from the results of the full text search. And also, if you use into the search box, if you use things like star or something like that, this will revert to the legacy search. Modern search is like a search engine. You type a word, and like in Google, and the search is able to do a full text search inside your indexed column and gives you the data. Later, I will talk about how to index column. This feature for Business Central Online is automatically available, nothing to do. For Business Central on-premise, it requires that you enable the full text and semantic extraction for search box into SQL Server. Otherwise, you will not have full text capabilities inside SQL Server on-premise. So if you have a customer running Business Central on-premise and you want to use this feature, remember that you need to enable this into the on-premise SQL. If you are running on cloud, nothing to do. Also, if you are running Business Central running in Azure SQL, this is enabled by default. But in SQL Server on-premise, you need to enable that. Another new introduction in Business Central 25 is the possibility to have a new flag in the sales and receivable setup and purchase and payable setup that permits you to have a default GL account quantity to 1 on sales and purchase. So in this setup, you have this flag, and if you enable this flag, automatically when you create, for example, a sales order, and you select a GL account or a purchase order is the same, the quantity is 1 automatically, and this will avoid you to typing 1 on every line that you have. And a quite similar feature is also the possibility on reports, so document reports, to hide lines with 0 quantity. So if I have this invoice, for example, posted sales invoice, and this invoice has some lines where quantity is 0 or blank, I print this invoice in Business Central 24. All these lines are automatically displayed in a standard Business Central 24. Now you have this option, this new option, hide lines with 0 quantity, and if this option is turned on, automatically the report filters that. This option is at the moment not added in purchase invoice. Don't ask me why. I think Microsoft forgot that. But at the moment it's available only on sales document and not in the purchase invoice document. Probably will be added in the next one of the next community updates. Another interesting feature is the possibility to handle multiple VAT numbers for a customer. This means that now you can set up different VAT numbers and posting groups for related to customer addresses in different countries. So if I have a customer, I can have multiple shipment addresses. Each shipment address can be in different countries, and I can have a VAT for each this related to these shipment numbers. So this means that now in the customer card, you have the alternative VAT registration action, and this action relies on a new page where you can specify that for this customer, if you are shipping in Italy, this is the VAT to use, and these are all the categories: business posting group and VAT posting group, and so on. And if you select other countries, these are the other parameters. And when you create a ship to address as usual, the country region code. And when you ship to this country, for this customer, you ship to this country, the system says you that the country for this address is different than the customer. Want to add an alternative VAT registration number, and you can also go into this page directly when you create a new shipment address. So if I have a customer, I create a new shipment address, I select the country that is different from the customer. Business Center now shows a notification that directly permits you to create this setup. And when you this feature is available on all the sales documents, so sales invoices, orders, credit memos, and return orders. Another application features added to Business Center 25 is related to projects. Projects now permits you to support extended text coming from items. So I can create an item like this, and to attach to this item, I can create its extended text. And now I have also the project flag. So previously I have only the sales and purchase button in order to say where I want to use the extended text. Now I also select projects, and on the project card, when I go into the project planning lines, now I have also the option to insert the extended text attached to the item. So if here I have inserted 2 project lines where type is item, and I can also insert this extended text, and these are automatically exploded from the item card. From another addition to projects is now the possibility to select a task and create a purchase order directly, so replenish the documents directly attached to that task. So I can select a task, and now I have a new option called Create Purchase Orders. This option opens a page that shows the line for each item that you have attached to the project planning line. And for each line, you have you can select the quantity that you want to purchase. The vendor for each of this line is automatically retrieved from the vendor name in the item card. So it proposes to acquire this item from this vendor, this item from the other vendor, and so on, according to the preferred vendor that you have in the item card. You can absolutely change it. So you can change the vendor, and then when you have set up the quantity and select the vendor, confirm or change the vendor, you can click process, and it creates a purchase order for each item and vendor. So it groups the item for vendor and creates a purchase order. For each line, the purchase order, you have the link to the job number and job task. So everything is linked. And from the project card, you can see the purchase lines directly from here. So it's a nice addition in order to handle replenishment to projects. And requirement to that is that the status of the project must be open. So you can do purchase order for a project only if the project is open, not for closed projects. And the apply users link that you have into the project card in the posting tab should be true. Otherwise, you cannot detach projects and purchase orders directly from the project. These are only the only requirements. Another new feature available in the application part is the possibility to archive service management documents. This was a missing part in the previously release. You cannot archive service documents. Now you can specify if you want to archive service documents, and if the archiving should be never, no archiving, or should be automatic archiving or on-demand archiving. When you archive a sales order, you have now dedicated pages in order to check the archived service order documents or service quote documents. And to a service, the service document, you have a new archive button that permits you to manually archive the document. This permits to handle archivation of these documents efficiently. Another additions, if related to financial reports, reporting is enriched in this release, and in the financial report parts, Microsoft has added a set of quite a large set of predefined reports. Report means not report instead of like layouts, but like definition of columns and rows that you can use to create a large set of different reports. So here you have inside the financial reports, you have 5 new row definitions and 12 new column definitions for predefined reports according to fiscality available in different countries. Some of these reports are out of the box for US version. So in US version, you have nothing to do, simply run. For other countries, you must map the row definition with the chart of accounts in order to have to display the data. And improvement of this out-of-the-box report will be available in the next cumulative updates. But these are new additions that permits you to satisfy to a set of fiscality reports that are requested by a set of countries. Another feature that I mention here because it's not well documented, I think, but for me it's one of the greatest additions in Business Central 25 is that Business Central 25 now for warehouses has improved the posting of the warehouse movements. And now Business Central 25, when posting transaction or warehouse movements, uses number sequence instead of number series. And I've talked about that in a post, I think a month ago, about why number sequence are important. Number sequence are not coming from records, but are coming from metadata. And this means that when detaching a number sequence, you can do that quickly, extremely quickly, and without a no-locking experience. So this feature is something that at the moment is enabled by default, and you can disable by going to the feature management page and select this feature called enable multiple user to post warehouse entries. Recommendation, in my opinion, is turn it on, because if you have no strict requirements on that, so customization that relies on the old number series on when posting warehouse transactions, this helps on improving the speeds of the posting transaction and especially the no locking. So much more quick to post warehouse entries. Another addition in Business Central 25, probably the main addition in the application part in Business Central 25, is the new subscription billing module. This new module permits you to add contracts, service contracts for which you want to handle recurring billing, service commitments, so services that you want to invoice, contracts with customers and billing schedules of these contracts. This new module is available for essential and premium licenses, so it's available for everyone that has Business Central. And this comes not from Microsoft itself, but it's an acquisition that Microsoft has done from a German partner called Singammer that has in the past had an add-on related to that. So Microsoft has acquired this add-on, and this add-on was moved inside the standard Business Central product. And now it's available in Business Central 25. Here I've reported some links from the old vendor, so from the Singammer vendor that talks about this topic and explain how this topic was created and how this topic works. Here is the Singammer flow. But I've tried, so my recommendation is if you want to know more about this topic today, go into this link. Max is working on the documentation about this topic. Just to show how very quickly how this new module works. Imagine to have to sell an item like, for example, a personal computer or something like that. So an item where you want to attach to this item also a service contract, like a maintenance or something like that. You can create, attached to items, what is called service commitment. And service commitments are 2 maintenance contracts, for example. Like in this example, I have an item called hardware and 2 maintenance contracts. One is done internally and one is done from externally. When I select in a sales order, in the sales order, I select an item that has attached also service commitments. The system automatically prompts me to, okay, you are selling this item, a personal computer, for example. You have also the option to assign a commitment to this, so a service order to this. And I can click on my sales order. I can click on the service commitments button, new button, and this new button opens the service commitment that I selected. So for example, here I have a service commitment called to this customer called maintenance. And in this service commitment, I can have the parameters of this. So my item, my hardware item is sell to the customer with this amount. The service commitment is calculated on the percentage of this, and this is this amount. How this amount is billed to the customer. You can specify that in the service commitment card. So this means that this amount, the maintenance for this hardware, for example, is this amount, and this amount is billed to the customer in 12 months, starting from a particular day, and here you can specify the notice period, the billing period, and something like that. What happens now? First of all, you have also a new report layout for a sales order that can be used when you have service commitments attached to items. And if you sprint the order, now you have also the item that you have sold to the customer, but also the attached service that you have done according to this customer with its related amount. I can ship the item, obviously, so I can ship the order or ship an invoice, totally up to you. And in the new service commitments without customer contract page, where if I ship the order, here I need to an entry is created into this page with the customer and the service that I just sold. And here I need to assign a contract to this entry. And assigning this contract means that I select the previously contract, so how I bill that in 12 months or something like that, as you want. And then I have a new page called recurring billing. And in the recurring billing page, I can select my customer, I select a billing date, and I can create a billing proposal. The billing proposal gives you all the billing to all the customers for this service that you need to do. So for example, here for my customer, I need to do a billing from this date to this date for this amount, my year of service that I yet sold to this customer. Then when the contract is done, I have to build the service. And to build the service, there's a function called create billing documents, where I can specify a document date, and I can specify the type of billing, or I want to bill for according to my contract. What this is doing is it creates a sales invoice with the item, the service, contract number, the service, and a set of contacts or comments. So I'm billing this for a period that goes for 1 year of service, because in my contract I specify that this service is billed for 1 year. So automatically a sales invoice is created to this customer for this period. But what happens under the hood when I post this invoice? So this is an invoice for a service for 1 year. I post this, and what it creates a set of deferrals, because this amount is not billed entirely to now when I post the invoice, but is splitted into a set of records accordingly to the billing method that I specify. So in my case, the month. So here, deferrals, not release deferrals. So deferral here in the customer contract deferrals, we have a status, release or not. And these are not release deferrals. So records that you need to invoice to this customer are created for each month of the contract. You post the same invoice, and you open the post the same invoice. You can also release the deferral. So in this page, the contract deferrals release, you can specify a posting date and the period for which you want to release which you want to post the deferrals. And when posted in the customer contract deferrals, you can see that an invoice is created for this customer, service contract, the hardware, and for the amount of the specific deferral. You can also extend the contract. So imagine that my customer now, after some months, decided to acquire a premium support. You open the customer contract, and you can click on the extend contract button. The extend contract buttons open a new card where you can add a new service. For example, the premium support. And then the premium support, one premium support for this amount with this start date. And adding a new premium support adds a new addition to the contract, adds a new line to the contract that you can then later go into the previous flow and handle the billing accordingly. So you can, with this new module, you can create contract, service contract, automatic billing of a service contract for period, and so on. So I recommend, there's no documentation at the moment about this. Microsoft is working on that. If you want to know more about this module, at the moment, the best way to go into this is probably the original website, or wait some weeks when the documentation of the module will be available. Let's move into the reporting part. In the reporting part, there are some additions. So new Excel-based report that enrich the data 4 new Excel layouts that are used for consolidation of fixed assets. Quite nice to use. But the main part related to reporting now is essentially are essentially two. The first is that Microsoft is working a lot on the reporting field in order to change the reporting tools. Word is becoming the main tool for creating reports. And related to this, now you have 2 new actions for report layout in order to have the possibility to export only the report schema, so the XML definition of the report, or also export the layout plus the schema. And but the main addition in this section is that now you have a new Word add-in for creating Word layout reports. So you go into your Office, your Word, open the add-ins tab, select retrieve add-ins from here, and then in the add-in you search for Business Central, and you have this new add-in called Dynamics 365 Business Central Word add-in. And this is a nice add-in to add into your Word, recommended to add, in order to quickly create reports in Word, because this add-in that will be improved in the next months permits you to handle a set of reporting tasks quite easily. So when you add this add-in into your Word, a new Business Central tab will be added here, where you have a toolbar with a set of actions that you can do. You can do a lot. So I encourage you to explore this tool. Here I added just some of this feature. For example, when you add a table, you can directly specify from the tool, just by clicking on the button, that you want to hide this table if it's empty, or for example, hide this table row if it's empty. So it's very easy to skip a table, skip a row, or something like that. Or for example, hide a column if the column is empty. So you have a set of predefined controls that you can easily do that, no coding, nothing. So hide the field if 0, simply directly by clicking the toolbar of this tool. So you have a set of predefined actions that permits you to quickly design a Word-based layout for a report. And new actions will be added to this tool. And I think this will be the start of a long path that will move the RDLC layout from this platform to Word. The other big part of the reporting features introduced with Business Central 25 is related to Power BI. Microsoft has added, or will add, the best, a set of predefined Power BI, rich Power BI report inside the standard Business Central products. Also, this comes from an acquisition. And these reports are not available now, but will be available in Business Central 25.1. These reports comes after installing a Power BI app into Business Central. And these are predefined reports, so nothing to do. Simply install this app that will enrich your Business Central with 14 new finance reports, 12 sales, 13 in purchase, 7 in inventory, and so on. So these are all the set of reports that will be added. And these reports will be available also exploring your Business Central role centers. So each role center will have a set of reports. These reports are extremely nice because are interactive. So runs directly inside Business Central, are totally interactive. So it's Power BI. I click a column, all the other charts are reflected as is. So very, very, very nice. There are a lot of reports for each areas embedded into the product. So also very, very useful for demos or something like that. And these reports also can be controlled by by code. So this, but also your custom report can be controlled by code. With this app, you have a new code unit called Power BI Service Management that permits you to embed the report from an action or inside a page very easily, just by calling this method and passing the URL of the report coming from Power BI. And in this way, you can embed custom report or create actions that just by clicking an actions open a Power BI report. So very, very nice and also very attractive. I encourage you to test when we are available for everyone. Some small news also in the database and Power Platform integration that need to mention. First of all, synchronization of data from Dataverse. Finally, you can apply templates. What this means? This means that now, for example, when I specify in the integration table mapping page that I want to sync customer coming from accounts coming from my CRM to my customer record coming in Business Central, I can also specify a templates. So templates means that I can specify how this customer must be imported into Business Central. And these templates can also be more than one. So like in this example, I can specify that in the table configuration templates, that I want to use this template if the filters are this template if filters this, and so on. So this helps on automatically syncing records from Dataverse to Business Central, importing the records according to rules that you can define with your templates. And this is quite useful, especially if you are using this type of Dataverse integration. And there's also a priority for templates. The priority determines the order on which the filters for each template are evaluated. So first the priority 1, then priority 2, and so on. AI and Copilot is another area where there are quite a lot of improvements. The first thing to mention in this area is that previously in regions where the Azure OpenAI service is not available, administrator previously should go here, and if you want to use Copilot, they should go here and click allow data movement, and then Copilot will be active because you authorize a data movement outside your region. Microsoft has changed that in order to enable Copilot and to everyone. And in version 25, except from countries where Copilot is yet available, so nothing to do. But in countries where Copilot is not available in that region, the administrative setting, the Copilot capability page is now on by default. This has generated a bit of rumors, but that is at the moment. So this is automatically on. So Copilot is active in new Business Central 25 environments. So no longer required to enable the data movement across tenants. Environment that instead are upgraded will be switched to on, and administrator can then obviously in any time change this feature by going into the Copilot and capabilities page and simply disable it. Another new addition related to Copilot is the possibility to create number series. Now Copilot can help you create and update the number series generally, and there are a set of actions to do that. So for first action is that what you can go into the number series page and select Copilot and say that you want to generate, for example, the number series for the purchase module, simply like this. And Copilot automatically creates a set of proposition for each document in the purchase module automatically. with a set of numbers and a set of rules that you can customize and go. So very quick to do. But the action can also do something more than this. So obviously, if you accept the compiler proposition, it creates the number series directly in the setup. So you have nothing to do. Simply accept and set up and pre-populate it. But you can also Copilot also does some checks. So if you create a Copilot suggestion for number series and the number series still exists, Copilot says that the number series exists and suggests you to modify the existing. So you can click on the modify existing, and it opens a prompt to change an existing number series. Another reason this part is that Copilot has an action now, the number series Copilot has an action for automatically prepare the number series for the next year. A task that usually a lot of financial consultant does when it's the end of the year and beginning of a new year. They create number series for the next year because a lot of customers have number series for years. And now you have an action automatically to do that. So you can set up a number series for the next year, for example. And if you write this prompt and click on generate, Copilot automatically takes your number series existing and creates the number series for the next year by appending the number of the year in where you have at the moment, setting the starting date and the ending date accordingly. So you have nothing to do manually. So it's very, very quick and very, very nice. Copilot also has a new action related to Copilot is the possibility to add the prompt actions on document card and on card and list plus. The prompt action are if you have yet see Copilots in action, Copilots has this action, and this is the prompt action. And prompt action cannot be until Business Central 24 cannot added to the floating action cannot be added to card pages, for example. Now you can add a prompt action to a card page. Usually you cannot do that. And also another change in Copilot, general change in Copilot, is that now errors and messages that Copilot is throwing by your code, now they surface directly inside the dialog rather in an error in a pop-up. So when I execute Copilot and I return a message that directly displays into the prompt dialog page. And you can also change more than one message. And the same is for errors. So they directly surface into the prompt dialog page and not in a pop-up. So much more easy to work. A new feature addition about Copilot is also the possibility to improve the Copilot chat. The Copilot chat will be, this feature will be available next year. And the Copilot chat will be able to know from your apps and from ISV apps and can know the content of your ISV apps and your page, your fields, your actions, and something like that. And this training of the Copilot is based on the documentation you provide in the apps installed, so into the URL that you provide in the app.json. If you do that, the Copilot chat will be able to learn from your app and explain to user your field, explain to user your actions, and something like that. And last addition that I want to show in Copilot that I've not yet placed in the slides is the new possibility that you have to go, if I, for example, I go into the sales order, a new possibility to, I create a new sales order very quickly. The new possibility that you have to suggest sales lines. Let me very quickly create a sales order. select the customer, and then I need to insert the lines. Now, previously you have only the suggest sales lines where you can type. Now you have also suggest sales line from file, or directly suggest sales line permits you to upload the file. And why this feature is nice? Because I can drag and drop a file, and a file can be any CSV I can have. Here I have prepared this CSV file that can be any CSV. So the two options I want to pass here is that now I have this CSV file with these columns. Tomorrow, a different CSV file, and so on. So no need to automatically map a sales file. Yeah, I can drag and drop any sales file I have. So let me take this sales file because I wrongly closed the window. So I drag my sales file, item CSV, and Copilot is analyzing my file, and accordingly to the lines that I have in my sales file, is trying to match the lines of the CSV file with the lines needed to create a sales order. And if it's able to match everything, it's automatically proposing me the sales line. Otherwise, if this is not able to match, it's proposing a matching suggestion. So it's proposing a window where it say, okay, for me, this column should be the item number. The other should be, and so on. You accept or modify the match, and then you click OK. In my case, it was automatically able to match all the lines. And now I can check or I can modify something. I can click insert, and my sales order goes automatically. So no need to create a template, or no need to have a fixed format. Drag and drop any file you want, and Copilot will match. Okay, let's move into the last section, so the development part. What changes for developers? There are some small and minor features for developers. Some of that are documented, some of that are absolutely not documented. So the first thing that I want to mention is the support for modifying a set of new page properties via page extension. And these properties are the insert allow, modify allow, delete allow properties that now you can modify via page extension. Previously, you cannot do that. Now these are available as modifications. You can modify directly by replacing the property that you want as true or false, but you cannot use variables. So variables is not permitted. You need to directly place true or false. You have finally a feature requested from a very long time. Finally, is Business Central 25. It will be available. They time and time fields data type now have methods for working easily with the date and time part. So now I can have my date field, and I can say today, day or week, month, week number, year, exactly like C#. So current date time as date and time, the time as hour, millisecond, minutes, and second. So I can easily extract the information from these data types. Another new addition is the possibility to extend interfaces. Interfaces are a way to specify a contract for a particular object definition. At the moment, interfaces until Business Central 24 cannot be extended. So you define an interface, and when you define an interface, you need to define a code unit that implements that interface and specify in that code unit the implementation of the interface. Now you can create an interface like this. My shipment provider that define a method called getCourier, and then I can extend the interface. So this is an extension of the interface that adds a new method of the interface. And obviously, when defining, let me jump very quickly here. where I probably have an example. If I define this interface, for example, for defining the shipment provider, and I have a method called get courier, I need to define in IL the implementation. So I have this implementation that implements my interface, and this is the method that gives the implementation of that method. The same is then I can redefine. So for example, I can create a new code unit that implements the same interface, for example, for a custom extension, and this re-implements the method giving another courier. And now in Business Center 25, I can also extend the interface. So I can create another interface that extends this interface, adding a new method, for example, get shipment cost. This new method can be implemented by another code unit. So I can have another code unit that implements the new extended interface, and if this code unit is the implementation of this interface extension, need to obviously re-implement the two methods in this case. The other no, because they implement the interface, the standard interface without the extension. So a nice way to extend interfaces in Business Center 2025. Another addition is that Microsoft has secretly added the scope to enhance. So enhance interface now and enhance interface now have a scope property that can be set to cloud on-prem. Obviously, cloud is the default, and cloud should be the only possible way. Don't write extension with scope on-prem. But now you have also this possibility. This possibility is not supported in an enum extension, so you cannot change the scope of an enum, existing enum, and the same for interface. You can define the scope for interfaces. Microsoft has also added in IL language some other C# features like the ternary operator. The ternary operator is a way to define a condition in this way in C# to improve readability without writing too much code. So a condition that you can evaluate, that must be evaluated. If the condition is true, this will be executed, otherwise this will be executed. Stupid example, a procedure that retrieves an input an age and returns a text. If the age is, this is a condition, and this is the result if the condition is true, this is the result if the condition is false. So this is a way to reduce code. Business Center 25 also add the possibility to add tooltips to query objects. Previously, you cannot add tooltips to query object data items, and this feature is important in my opinion, mainly for a reason. Because if you define a tooltip in a query object and your query object is used inside the page, when you move, use the query object in analysis mode, so the new analysis mode that you can use for pages, the UI will show you the tooltips coming from the table as default. But if you have tooltips in query, this will override the tooltip defined at the table level. So this improves the experience of your customer when creating data analysis. And queries also support a new method called save as JSON that permits you to save a query response as a JSON object. Useful, for example, if you have APIs or you want to exchange data with external system. Now you can create a query and save this query as JSON. Previously, you only have save as CSV or save as XML, not save as JSON. Another addition in the IL language is the new page style data type. Until Business Center 24, you can specify a style of the text control by using the style expression. in these ways. For example, you set a variable and you assign the style variable to this variable. And but the problem is that this procedure, for example, to set the state, you have to use some keyword. It's a text keyword, like attention, unfair overall, and something like that. And this was not so nice. Now, with Business Central 25, you have a new page style attribute. So that can have all these values. And this can be used when setting a style of a control. Directly page style ... and you select your value. Another important action addition in business AI language is previously we have talked about the model search, and when explaining the model search, I said you that model search works like with adding text fields into a full text index, and as a developer, you can add fields to a full text index by setting a new keyword or a new field property called optimize for text search. If you set that to true, this text field will be added to the full text index into the Azure SQL database. And this field will be used for searching for text when a user use the searching list feature. This can also be used in table extension fields. So I can create a table extension, I can add my field, add this field to the search, but I cannot modify an existing field, the property of an existing field. When talking about that, remember that, as I repeat that if you are using the model search, but if you search for a string for fields that are not in the full text index, the search will be converted into the old legacy search. So you are using the old legacy search, so it will be slow. So it's important to index the field that you want to be available in search. But obviously you cannot index every field you want, otherwise it's a problem. So the recommendation is index the fields that for you are relevant to find the record where you are. So for example, if I am in the item list, I index the number, the description true or something like that, not every field that has no sense. Related to this field, these features, you can also control the search by code. Microsoft has added a new syntax for the set filter that permits you to work only with the field ref variable, and permits you to launch a search for a particular field by using this syntax, double end your source string and the star at the end. This means that this permits you to specify a full text search on this field for the particular keyword. This is useful if you want to perform a full text search from code. If you want to know more about how to use that, this is the way, but you can also check, for example, the data search capability in Business Central. Another interesting addition in Business Central 25, not available yet, but available probably starting from December, at least these are the plans at the moment, is the possibility to package resources inside an extension and access the content of that directly from IL. This is a very nice feature that I personally requested from a lot of time because it permits you to embed inside an app images, demo data, rapid start packages, CSV file, XML file, JSON file, every file you want that you can directly use in your extension from for example, populating data, loading data, something like that, directly from extensions. And how this feature works? This feature works in this way. First of all, when you create a new IL project with IL Go, from December, you will have a new .resources folder into your projects. And this is the default folder where you can place your resources. All the resources that you place in this folder are packaged inside the app when you build the app, and can be visible only from this extension and not from other extensions. You have limits on the type and name on the size of these resources. So the maximum size for each resource is 1024 kilobytes, maximum 16 megabytes for the entire package, and maximum this number of resources. When you package resources into the app and you deploy the app into Business Central Online, all these resources that you have packaged into the app are virus scanned server side. So there's a control of the resources that you upload at. Some types of resources are blocked by default. For example, if you package an exe file, this is blocked by Business Central Online. And in IL language, we have a new method called navapp.getResource that permits you to load a resource at runtime and use this resource in code. So for example, something like this. In my project here, in my .resources project, you can create some folders, no problem on that. I can place a CSV data, for example, and in my code here, I can use navapp.getResource. I pass my file, the name of the resource that I want to read. The resource is read, and the content of this will be placed into an in-stream. And then you can read the data and do what you want. So very useful, for example, for loading images, or for example, for loading that data. If I want to directly install an extension, then load setups or demo data or something like that, you have now the place to do that. As said before, .resources will be the new folder, default folder created here. But this folder can be, you can have subfolders inside this folder, but you can also control this. So you can also have more than this. And in the app.json file, you will have a new parameter called resource folders that contains a set of folders that for you are folders containing resources. And the only limitation of that is that if you have more than one folder, the name of the resources in each folder must be unique. So you cannot have test.csv in this folder and test.csv in this folder, because when compiling, it gives you an error saying that you have duplicated resources name into different folders. But you can, by using this parameter, specify that your resources must be placed into different other folders. Otherwise, the dot resource is the default. Another addition of that is this is available, for example, for open source apps or app source app or per tenant extensions, or it depends by the usage. This new addition permits you to specify into the app.json file a new source tag, where you can specify the URL of a repository and an ID of a commit of a source control of a source source code repository for an app. So you can specify that this app has this repository URL, and it comes from this commit, where the commit ID is the ID of the commit that you can find in your control management system according to the URL here. In this case, GitHub. When you install the app, directly you can see if, now in the installer extension, you can see that if the source code is available or not for the app. And you can, you have this button, open source in VS Code, that directly, if you have these parameters set here, directly attach Visual Studio Code to this source code repository, and permits you to directly download the code. As I said before, here you have a new source column where you can see if the source is available or not. And in the extension setting, now also these parameters are available, visible, obviously not editable, but you can see in the extension setting directly the resource protection policy of your extension. So if the debug is allowed, if the downloaded source is allowed or not, and the URL of the repository containing the source code of this app. So directly visible in the extension management page. Another developer-oriented feature, probably the last one that I want to show, is the in-client performance profiling. I think you know that from Business Central, probably 23, if I remember. There's an in-client performance profiler available inside the web client that permits you to do a performance test of a page or a particular piece of or running code simply by recording what the user is doing and then checking the data. Now this profiling is enriched with the possibility to schedule a profiler. So now you can select profiler schedules from here, and you can create a profiler schedule. So I can enable a schedule, select the start and end time, particular filter criteria, like for example, or monitoring this user ID for each activity in the browser or not. So only capturing a specific user ID and only capturing only a specific activity in the browser. So here is what you can capture: activity in the browser, background task, or web service call. You can also specify other parameters like the sampling, the duration of the profiling, and the retention period of the profile. So how long the captured profiles should be kept. And what happens here is that Business Central starts a background profiling and records for you a profiler that then you can go into the profiler schedules page, see the entire list of recording, select your recording and click on open profiles, and this gives you the data. So no need to need until Business Central 20 from Business Central 24 and previous release, you need to be live in order to record a profiler. Now you can schedule a profile for a particular user or for a particular set of tasks, and then specify for what time should be start and should be finished, and then you can automatically have this recorded, and then you can see the data. So for example, it's easy to monitor your user during the day, because you can schedule from the beginning of the work to after 2 hours, and then it records for you the session and gives you the data accordingly. So this ends the overview. As usual, there are lots of information for a new release. As I said at the beginning, we plan to show everything possible in the much more details possible in this 1 hour or 1 hour and a half of time. So documentation on a lot of these features will be available in the next weeks or months. But I think that now you have at least a quite big overview of what's coming in this release.
Great, thank you. Thank you, Stefano. And I assume that right now we should start our Q&A session.
Yes. I'm checking the Q&A. The subscription module is very similar to service module. What do you think? Yes, the subscription module is quite similar, at least in some part, because it permits you to specify a service, something like that, but adds lots of new additions. For example, like the possibility to specify a recurring billing for a service, and then automatic billing of that. This is something that is not handled by the standard service module. The recurring billing can also be specified by using deferrals, so not something that is automatically billed in the GL, but you can have deferrals, so not GL, that you can post later. So there are a lot of features that are not available, and that's why Microsoft has acquired this from Synghammer. I need to explore better this main module, because it's something I'm not too much in this inside this set of features, but it's quite promising. Are the improved document report features limited to Word format only? Yes, the improved document capabilities, so the new Word add-in and something like that, is related to Word reporting only. And honestly, this is a roadmap. So for the document reporting, Microsoft is pushing Word as a way to create reports. So the old RDL reports probably will not have a long life. So Word is the way to do, and Word is the new reporting mechanism that Microsoft is pushing today. In the compiler sales order, the drag and drop function only available in sales order page. Sales order and sales quote, if I remember correctly. You should check. If I remember, only on these two, but you can easily extend. So it's you can easily add, for example, to sales invoices or something like that. But if I remember, yes. Are there any Power BI reporting enhancements? Yes. The Power BI reporting enhancements is what I've explained. So Microsoft has acquired a big app from a famous Power BI vendor, Business Central related Power BI vendor, and they have integrated this app into Business Central. This app will be available very, very soon. And this app will be enriched Business Central of a large set of Power BI reports pre-built that you can customize as is, and you can customize directly from the client, Business Central client, or directly from Power BI. These reports will be available in Power BI and outside Power BI. These are the additions. So from the Power BI side, this app also will add a set of IL methods for controlling Power BI reports from code. So it will be easy to control Power BI report from code entirely, but this will not add the feature in the Power BI connector. So the Power BI connector is still the same. Are the performance profile data that is recorded stored as part of the client's environment space utilization? Yes. Do they need to be clear? They expire at the given amount. You can specify retention policies for that. So these are stored inside Business Central, and you can specify the retention period of that. So, or you can clear it manually, or you can specify that they expire, so automatically clean after the time you want. And this can be specified directly when you start the profiling, in the setup of the profiling. Features one-to-one. The pilot version from the app source and Singammer, run initial app for all customer. Yes, it's the one-to-one version of the Singammer app, absolutely. Singammer will provide a migration app for all customer. Honestly, I don't know, because this should be asked to Singammer. I don't know about that. If there's a migration path from that, but I can confirm that it's the one-to-one version of the paid version of Singammer. What about performance with certain records when this model search is enabled? Is there an impact on that? Absolutely no. Model search uses full text search, so a full text index capabilities in Azure SQL. It's improved the performance in a very, very big way, the performance of searching. So searching list until Business Central 24, searching list creates performance problems because without a full text index, every time your user uses the search box, this performs a full text scan inside the table, and this is a performance killer. In every webcast session that we have done in the last years related to performance, we have ever said that never instruct your user to never use search in list. I personally, with my customer, instruct to avoid using search in list as much as possible. These things change now because in Business Central 25, if you enable the model search, and the model search will be automatically enabled from the next release, Business Central 20, the plans are 27, but it's automatically enabled also new environments today. The new model search improves the performance of searching because it uses the full text search, so a dedicated index created by the Business Central runtime and maintained by the Azure SQL for scanning data search. I encourage you to try. It's very, very powerful. So it's not impact performances because it's not impact performance when inserting records because it uses a dedicated index. Multiple VAT numbers will also be available for my own company, not just customers. I don't think so. So it's so I don't know. Multiple VAT numbers for company for the specific company. No, I don't know what would mean exactly, but this feature is related to customer where you can specify a set of shipment address, and each shipment address can be on different countries. In different countries can have different VAT numbers.
And I see that one question is repeated for a few times regarding the slides. So I just would like to inform all the attendees that slides themselves will not be available. We are not going to share the slides, but all of you who have registered will receive the recording within a matter of a couple of days. So slides will not be available, but you will receive the link to see the recording, which will be available most probably on YouTube. And I see that
I don't think there are other questions, probably.
Yes, and we already spent quite some time, and I'm really happy that we still have nearly 100 attendees within the event. So I'm really thankful for all of you who have joined. Thank you, Stefano, for all the insights that you have shared with us. It seems that the topic was really great, that we had so many attendees registered and so on. And hopefully soon we'll be able to meet in Austria, in direction to
Yes,
Mayhem.
absolutely.
So
Hoping to see you everyone in Austria again. And thanks for attending.
yeah. Have a great evening for all of you, and till next time.
See you. Bye-bye. Thank you very much for attending. And feel free to write me if you have something more. Bye-bye.